Are you listening? Damn.
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Alec from Blackhouse Vapor Company, and today we're asking an important question. Whether or not a bigger tank, like the TFE12 here, is actually better for you than a smaller tank like this little Aspire Nautilus. So a lot of people are seeing tanks like this TFE12 from Smock, and they're thinking that it's the best tank for them just because it looks the best and it's the most expensive. But that's not necessarily true. It's going to come down a lot to personal preference, and we're going to try to address some of the issues that people are having in choosing tanks in this video. So stay tuned. So the first thing to consider when you're looking at new sub-ohm tanks is what type of vaping you're going to be doing. Whether or not you're looking for a full cloud device, whether you're looking for more of a flavor device, whether you're looking for a mouth-to-lung device versus a straight-to-lung device. And to cover that really quickly, a mouth-to-lung device is going to be something like this Nautilus X here. It's a very restrictive hit, there's not a whole lot of airflow, and it's a pretty low wattage coil, which means it's going to be very efficient, it's going to be easier on your battery, but it's more built for the people that want a vapor hit that's a lot like a cigarette hit. So this, when you're talking about mouth to lung, this is exactly what it sounds like. It means that you're going to be inhaling vapor into your mouth first and then drawing it into your lungs, a lot like how you would actually smoke a cigarette. Versus this tank over here, this TFE12 or even the TFE8 is going to be a lot more of a vapor production device and a lot more of a straight to lung device. This type of device, if you try to mouth to lung hit it, is going to be a pretty unpleasant vaping experience for you. So you want to make sure that if you're looking for a mouth to lung draw, if you're looking for something that's similar to a cigarette, particularly if you're coming off of cigarettes and you might be craving that exact type of hit, you don't want to necessarily jump into a larger tank right off of the bat. You want to start off and maybe do your research and figure out if you're actually going to enjoy a bigger tank like this, or if the learning curve for hitting the tank is going to be a little bit too much for you, and you might want to start with something smaller like this Nautilus X. If you figured out what type of vaping you're doing now, whether it's mouth to lung or whether it's straight to lung, you can start looking at different devices that might suit your preferences. That's the biggest issue that people have, is that they come into the shop and they're not necessarily looking for a device to fit their preferences. They're looking for a device that looks good, or they're looking for a device that they think feels good in the hand, and it's not necessarily the right device for them or the device that's going to produce the type of vapor that they want. A lot of people aren't going to come into the shop looking for this little Nautilus X. This is something where it's more of a push sell most of the time, even though most of the people that end up with this Nautilus X love it because it's exactly what they're looking for. It's a small mouth to lung hit. They can put a larger nicotine content in it, and then they can get it really feeling like a cigarette. If you're a mouth to lung vapor and you're trying to use a TFE12 or a TFE8 or even a Fair or a UL, you're going to have a lot more difficult of a time, and you're far more likely to drop vaping entirely, or at least end up buying a new device very quickly, as opposed to having a device like this which should last you multiple years and it ends up only lasting you a few weeks before you get sick of it. Okay, so we've covered the preference side of things, whether or not you want to do mouth-to-lung vaping or whether you want to do straight-to-lung vaping. The last thing to think about is what mod is your tank going on. Because if you're using a small 1-battery mod or even a 2-battery mod in some circumstances, and you're trying to use a TFE12, you're going to have a lot of issues. You'll notice that regardless of what you try to do, your batteries are going to drain extremely quickly with a larger tank on a smaller mod. The reason for that is that it just can't create enough nominal voltage to be efficient with a bigger tank. So you want to look at getting a smaller or a mid-sized tank for a 1 or a 2 battery mod. A common pairing I've seen with the TFE12 or the TFE8 is the Relo 23 or the RX 200S. Another common mod to use with the larger tanks is the RX 300, which is a new Relo mod that's a 4-battery mod. The same can't really be said about smaller tanks. I mean, regardless of what device you're using your small tank on, it should work perfectly. The efficiency is always going to be higher on a smaller tank, and the only real issue is going to be turning your wattage down low enough to make sure that you don't burn your coils out. Hey again guys, this is Alec from Blackhouse Vapor Company. This was our short video on sub-ohm tanks. Stay tuned for our Thursday video with Lucas, which is going to be a comprehensive Druga review after about a week of use with it. He's going to tell you what he thinks about the device. And thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed these videos, make sure to give a like, subscribe for more, comment if you have any questions whatsoever, or you can definitely contact us through our website, blackhousevapor.com. Thanks for watching guys. Have a great day.